Okay. Now, folks, as we go down the river today, remember I told you we're going to be looking for wildlife. That's going to be our focus. But what I'm going to do here in just a little while is I'm going to show you guys how to spot some of the wildlife that we're going to be looking for. I would say 9 out of 10 animals that we spot, you guys are going to do it, not me. So we'll just see how good a spotter you are once we get into this. We'll get into that here shortly. Now, being all that said, if anybody has any questions about anything you're seeing, what are you seeing? The nest? I did not see it. I see the nest, but I don't see the bird. We're going to talk about all the birds, so I promise you that. Now, that brings up this. If anybody has any questions about anything while we're going down this river, and it doesn't even have to be on topic, you can just something you're curious about. Speak up, say the word, okay? That's all the way down the river. Don't worry about interrupting me. I'm used to it, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. So please don't be shy. Okay. Now, before we do head down the river, I do want to make a right turn. We're going to go back into this little cove here in just a second. Now, the reason I want to go back in here is because I want to show you one more spring. This spring I want to show you because the last two springs I just showed you are pretty small. There's not a lot of water coming out of it. But this is a whole other ball game. This spring I'm about to show you produces 250 million gallons of water every day. Now, all by itself. And this is still not the biggest spring you're going to see today. Not even close. But this one's pretty. This spring you're about to see is in 29 feet of water. We call this particular spring the Blue Grotto. Should start showing up right about now. Here we go. The word grotto means cavern. If you look underneath that rock ledge, that little cavern in there, that's where all the water's coming from. Now, why we call this the Blue Grotto is obvious because of that beautiful blue look we get in the water. But we get that look for a reason. We get that look because every single drop of that water is 99.8% pure fresh water. In other words, guys, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. And that water is also coming out at a constant temperature of 72 degrees. That's constant, year-round, doesn't change.
What's the fishing with the wings?
What's that?
Fish with the wings.
Where are you seeing that? Those are tilapia. Yeah. I'll talk more about those here in a minute. The Blue Grotto, this spring right here is the second largest spring in this park. Now the big one, I'm saving that one for last. That's the last thing we're going to do today.
That's when I was like,
Did you say something? Oh, you were talking. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Talking to the boss.
Okay. Okay, now here in just a few minutes we're going to be turning right. We're going to head down the river. But there is something I want to show you right over across the river here first. Now, as we head over there, I got a quick question for you. Let me get turned here so I don't run into a kayaker. All right. Now, I got a question. How many of you guys remember a television series This has been a while. Television series called Sea Hunt with Lloyd Bridges. You remember that? Now, when I was a kid, that was the coolest thing on television. This little dock over here on the left, we call that the Sea Hunt dock. The reason we call it that is because every single episode of that series was actually filmed right here at Silver Springs. All the underwater scenes were done all up and down this river. Every one of them. Now, back in those days, that was really not a dock, it was a building, and that's where they used to store all their cameras and equipment and things like that when they were filming. And they filmed here for about 5 years, back in the early 1960s. Now, guys, if you were on one of our 30-minute tours today, this is the point where we'd actually turn around and start going back up the river. 30 minutes is not a long time. But I'd show you some stuff on the way back. But most importantly, when we got back to the beginning, I'd show you the main spring, which is the big daddy of them all. It's absolutely huge. It's beautiful. It's impressive, to say the least. And I do want to show it to you, and I am. But first, we're going to go down the river, check out the wildlife. When we come back, I promise to show you that spring, because it is pretty cool. So from here on out, guys, now it's all about the wildlife. Now, here's, yes, ma'am.
Does people come here to dive, or you cannot dive here?
Cannot do that. Cannot do that here. They have more rules in this place than Carter has pills.
Okay.
They have, you cannot swim, you cannot fish, you cannot dive, you cannot snorkel. You can't do anything here.
Okay.
Now, this is also the only state park in the state that you can't swim in.
What are you
Only
saying?
one. Cannot swim here.
Oh, here, okay, yeah.
They got a lot of rules, there's no doubt about it.
That's good.
We'll talk more about that later.
That's what I thought it'd be.
So let's talk about the wildlife for a second. Now, first thing I'm going to tell you is, I can't guarantee a single thing we're going to see today, guys. I never can, because I'm not in charge of it. This is all Mother Nature out here. She's going to decide what we're going to see and what we're not.
I want to see the manatees.
But we can do some things to help our odds. And what I'm going to do is show you guys how to spot some of the animals we're going to be looking for. That way, we got all of our eyes looking for the same thing, and it's going to help things a lot. First animal I want you to know how to spot are alligators. Now here's how to spot one.
Oh, look, a turtle.
Alligators, for the most part, guys, they like it along the edges of the river. Sometimes you'll see one swimming along the edge, but more often than not, where you're going to see them is if you look over here on the right by me, see that mushy grass all in there? That's ideal for an alligator. There's some more coming up here on the right, and we've even got some coming up here on the left. Watch these places closely. Sometimes you'll just see the head of the alligator hanging in there. They've buried themselves so well. Other times you'll see their whole body. And other times you'll see them up on a log or something like that, or swimming along the edge. So watch for this along the edges of the river. Now here's the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. If you see something cool, like a gator or any of the other animals that we're going to talk about today, the worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself. Don't do that, please. Say something when you see something cool. Point it out, be vocal, and that way everybody gets to see it. Everybody can get their pictures and do stuff like that. So this is all going to be kind of a communal effort, is what I'm trying to tell you here. We're all trying to look at the same thing, and we'll just see as much stuff as we can. Okay? All right. So the first thing is gators. Keep looking for gators, and we're going to find one sooner or later. I promise you that. Now the next animal I want you also to be looking for are manatees. Now, here's the bad news. This is not what I call manatee season. Most of the manatees have left the building. They have gone way downriver, and that's something they do every summer. And they usually stay down there until it starts cooling down a little bit. However, every now and then you still get 1, 2, 3, sometimes as many as 4 come up the river and do a little exploring every now and then. And they'll spend a day or 2, sometimes 3, doing that.
What is that?
And that we see fairly often. But once they're done, then they start going back down the river again. Now, the time you really want to see manatees is in the dead of winter, because now they have to. Well, let me put it this way: now where they are now, way downriver, is getting way too cold. The water's temperature starts to drop as we get into winter. It gets so cold that the manatees won't survive. They will get hypothermia and die. So what the manatees do in the wintertime is they come upriver and they come way back to the beginning of this whole thing, and that's where all the big springs are. Remember, I told you that water's coming out at 72 degrees, and that's how they survive in the wintertime. In the wintertime, they are everywhere. Let me give you a good example. If this was January right now, we'd have probably already seen 30 or 40 manatees. They're everywhere. But this time of year, it's going to be a little harder to spot them. So watch the water. If you happen to see one, by all means say something. Now guys, you're also going to start seeing turtles. You got some birds going on here. If you have a question about one, I'm going to try to hit on all the birds as we go down the river. But if I'm not hitting on one that you want to know what it is, ask. I'm happy to answer your questions, okay? That blue bird right there, that was called an anhinga that just went underwater. We'll talk a little bit more about those, but those are what I call water birds. They love to go fishing underwater. What those guys will do is they'll dive underwater, they'll spear a fish with that long, sharp bill of theirs, they'll bring the fish to the surface, they flip it up in the air, and swallow it whole.
Over there.
And boy, are they good at
Over
it.
there in the thing, there's a blue one.
All right, so far we're looking for manatees, we're looking for alligators. We got one more. Monkeys. How many of you guys have seen one of our monkeys before? Did you guys see them on the first time that we went out?
We did, yeah.
We did?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. That's good.
Well, that was a year ago in the winter.
Was that a year ago? Okay, you saw them about a year ago? Okay. The monkeys that are out here in this forest, guys, are called rhesus macaque monkeys. They've been here a long time. They've been here since the early 1930s. But they're not native to this area. They were actually brought in. How that happened was back in the 30s, there was a riverboat tour guide. He used to take people on sightseeing adventures all up and down this river. His name was Colonel Toohey. Well, one day, while he was doing his tours, he came up with this brilliant idea. He thought to himself, I wonder what would happen if I went out and bought some monkeys. And then I could put those monkeys on one of the many islands all the way down this river. That way the monkeys would be captive. Heck, they couldn't go anywhere. They were on an island after all. And I could go by that island every day with my tour boat and show them all. Well, he thought this was a great idea. So he actually decided to act on it. He went out and he bought 6 rhesus macaque monkeys. 6 of them. He ends up putting all 6 monkeys. What do you got over there? Turtle? We'll come back to that. We'll come back to what they are. They put all 6 monkeys on this little island coming up here on our left. Guess what we call that island? Hmm? How did you guess that? Yeah, of course it's Monkey Island. So what he did is he put all 6 there. The next morning he gets up, loads up his boat full of tourists. Down the river they come. They get to Monkey Island, and sure enough, there's all the monkeys. Everybody got to see them. A lot of people got to feed them. What did you go over? What did we go over?
A turtle, a big
Oh,
one.
turtle? Okay, all right. If you see something else like a manatee, you say something to me, please. Yeah, okay. Okay. So
Or tarpon, whatever you want to call it.
they all saw the monkeys. Everybody had a grand time. Colonel thought to himself, "This is a good idea. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this. We'll do it again tomorrow." The next day, loads up his boat again. Down the river they come. This is the 2nd time down the river. This time when they get to Monkey Island, there were no monkeys at all. They were all gone. The one piece of information he failed to get when he bought them is that rhesus macaque monkeys are great swimmers. They swam away. And they have had run of this entire forest ever since. Now the good news is what started out as 6 monkeys today are in the neighborhood of around 500 of them.
Holy
We got a lot. But the bad news is this is a huge forest. And if they're in an area where we're not, you're not going to see them. That's simple. However, we see them surprisingly often, guys, and here's how to spot them. A full-grown rhesus macaque monkey is about 3.5 feet tall. They are light brown in color, and they love to travel in packs or families. You rarely see one out here by himself. The way I like to look for them is I'm looking into the trees, and I'm frankly concentrating on ground level. No higher than halfway up the trees. They don't like it super high up in the trees. What you're looking for is either the monkey, or you're looking for some unusual movement in the trees, like a rattling of the branches. Because they get in there, they jump from tree to tree, they rattle the branches in the process. A lot of times you can see that long before you see the monkey. So watch for this as we go down the river, on both sides of the river, because they can be anywhere. And hopefully we'll see some today. Okay, now, I got one thing I want to show you. This just happens to be back underwater. If you look underneath the boat, what you're going to see is what's left of an old shipwreck down there.
I did them all. It's not going to make the sound anymore.
Now this boat that you're looking at down there, that is actually an old movie prop. This is a movie prop from a movie that was shot here back in 1969. The movie starred Burt Reynolds in it. The name of this movie was called Sam Whiskey. How many of you guys have seen that one? Nobody? Did you ever go home and see it?
No.
No? I
Should
don't
have,
blame
but
you.
didn't.
I don't blame you. And the reason no one has seen it is because it was a terrible movie. It didn't do well at all. Now, that's not why I'm showing you this. I'm showing you this because this river is full of artifacts like this one, all from old movie shoots. But the problem with that is most of them are beginning to deteriorate so much now you can't even tell what they are. This one, at least, you can kind of tell it used to be a boat. But it's frankly well on its way, too. So if you're thinking about finding that one on the internet, do yourself a big favor. Don't. It's really a bad movie. Now, folks, this is where I want you to really start paying attention. I want you to be looking along the edges of the river for gators, for turtles, for birds, and things like that. I want you to be looking up into the trees on either side of the river for monkeys, and of course for more birds. And then whatever you do, guys, do not ignore the water, just on the up chance that we just might see a manatee doing a little exploring today. So let's watch it, see what happens, and we'll go from there. Again, if you see something cool, please say so. And if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to do it.
Turtles on the wall.
We got a couple turtles right out in front of us now. These are called cooter turtles. I know that's a weird name, but that's what they're actually called. Now the cooter turtle comes in 3 varieties. They come as red-bellied, yellow-bellied, and orange-bellied.
Yeah, I see it, but I can't get it.
Now these are the ones you're going to see as we go down the river.
Maybe.
Now we do have other species of turtle. We have soft-shell turtles. We have snapping turtles. We got all kinds of turtles, but all those like to stay in the water. The cooters like to sit out in the sun. That's what separates it. So if you see one out on the lawn, it's going to be a cooter turtle. We got one over here, 2 over here, I think. They get twice as big as it. You wait till we get going here, you'll see
He'll be
something.
back.
If you look underneath the glass for about 2 seconds, you see all that grass we're going over? That is called eel grass. That is a manatee's favorite food. They eat about 100 pounds of that stuff every day. Now this next log coming up here on the left, there's some more turtles on that. We got 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4
so
at
many
least.
turtles.
5. So we're starting to see more. You'll see more and more as we go down the river. A lot of turtles, for sure.
2 of them, 3 of them.
Now guys, as we go down the river here, right now, we're looking for what I would call the major animals. That's manatees, monkeys, and alligators. That bird you're pointing over there on the left there, that's called an anhinga. That's one of our water birds. He loves to go fishing underwater. And we have two kinds of water birds. We have anhingas, and another one is called the cormorant. I'll point one of those out to you when I see one.
Really pretty.
Anhinga's the snake bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty ducks.
That's their nickname. They call it that because when it's in the water hunting for fish, it kind of looks like a snake in the water.
Show me, but let me.
All right, so we're looking for the three major animals. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but boy, there are a lot of other animals out here you could spot. Now, I'm going to give you another list here in a couple seconds. Every animal on that list we have seen on this tour at one time or another, just not quite as often. The first animal on this list are deer. We have a lot of deer out here in this forest. Sometimes if you look along the edges of the river, if you look sharp, you can see some deer back there in the trees. Takes kind of a sharp eye, but you can see them. Also, wild turkeys. I've seen a lot of those out here. That is a common occurrence to see those, and they're kind of along the ground and along the edges of the river as well.
Just a gray one.
Black bears have been seen in this forest.
Oh wow.
Now that one's a little more rare. I don't see black bears every day. Another one I see often out here on the right are wild boars. They're right over here along the edges of the river here. Now only on the right, not on the left. No, there are no iguanas out here. Where do you see them? That's a log. That's a log fish. Very dangerous. You got one over there finally?
That's dangerous?
No, that's a log as well. But that, you got the right idea. You're looking. All right, keep doing it. We're gonna find one here sooner or later. All right, so where were we? Wild boars. Now, one of my favorite animals to look for, and we happen to be in the area where they kind of like hanging out, and that are river otters. Now, I like looking for river otters, and there is one that likes this area that we're in right now. However, lately, he seems to have taken on a girlfriend. And now there are two. They're always together, they're always swimming together, and they're in kind of this area. So watch the water, watch for some little heads to pop up and look around for a little bit, and you just maybe get lucky and see an otter. They are fun to watch. They're faster than Dickens, though. So if you see an otter, say something quick. Now, bobcats have also been seen out here on occasion.
Yeah, lots of turkeys.
Probably my least favorite animal out here are snakes. We do have a few of those. We've got a bunch of turtles over here on this
So
one,
many turtles.
on these logs. Now see what that anhinga's doing there with his wings spread real wide like that? He's been in the water hunting for fish. He's trying to dry his wings out before he can fly. Anhingas don't have the oils in their feathers like a duck does or other birds do. So he has to dry out the old-fashioned way. Now look over here on the right on the water coming up. You see this little bird up here? It looks like he's taking a bath. That's a cormorant. He's not taking a bath. What he's trying to do is scare the fish out of the reeds, out of the grass. Now if he sticks his head down there and sees one, if he's successful, he'll dive down there and grab it and bring it up to the surface and then toss it up in the air and eat it. Now he must have given up for a while. Cormorant. Those are both cormorants right there.
Yeah, right there. On the grass.
First gator. There he is. Right there in the grass.
Yeah.
This is called an American alligator. Now, just so you'll know, the American alligator, guys, has the third hardest bite in the entire animal kingdom. Third hardest. In other words, he can mess you up. But the good news is that these guys are just afraid of you as you are of them. And to be honest with you guys, we have never had an incident out here with a gator and a kayaker or a paddleboarder, anybody. Not once. Look, he's starting to move.
Starting to move.
He didn't like us getting this close. American alligator. Yeah, that's just his tail sticking way out. Isn't that cool? Now, does any of you guys know how to measure an alligator other than very carefully?
From the tip of his tail to the tip of his nose.
There you go. What you do is you estimate the distance from his eyes to the tip of his nose.
Yep, and that's
However many inches you think that is, that's how many feet the gator is.
Yeah.
And it works out pretty well, not unless you're just terrible at estimating inches. But we'll try that next time we get one here close by.
Look at it. It's so funny.
It's probably that bird. Probably that bird. Turtle.
Turtle, yeah. Small. Same right there.
Oh yeah, right here. Here. It's relaxing.
This eelgrass I just told you about when we're going over, all this dead grass over here on the edge of the river, that's just dead eelgrass. And what happens is when the grass dies, it pops up on the surface and it starts floating downriver. Well, then it accumulates in areas like this one over here on the left. Well, it's ideal for gators. They love that. And even though that's all floating, they love to sit in the middle of it and just kind of chill. And sometimes if they find a spot in there, they can sit there all day if no one bothers them. So watch all these areas as we continue down the river, guys. We'll see another one. I think we will anyway. A couple more turtles over here. They're just kind of spotty areas now. Now, guys, this river that we're going down right now, this is called the Silver River. And this river is made up entirely of spring water. All this water you see is coming from springs. Now, this river goes downstream as the Silver River for about 5 miles. And the entire 5 miles, this water is just as crystal clear as what you're looking at right now. But then at the 5 mile mark, it runs into a much larger river, and that one's called the Aqualaha River. Now it's starting to look like a river, brown, dirty. And it continues to go down that river for a few more miles, but not a great distance, because then that river runs into a major river here in Florida. That one's called the St. Johns. The St. Johns runs north all the way up to Jacksonville, Florida, goes into Jacksonville, and then finally out to sea. This water you're looking at right now, guys, it has about a 150-mile journey in front of it, and it takes it about a week before it all ends up in the Atlantic Ocean. There's another gator over here on the left. I can see his tails right in the middle of that mush. You see him? He's
Oh, yeah,
burying
here,
himself
Granny.
pretty good.
Right
Yeah,
here,
it's
straight.
way in there.
The gator.
There's two turtles over there. That little bluebird over there, that's called a lesser blue heron. Got a few,
Yeah.
few animals over here.
He's chilling.
American alligator, guys.
Too many turtles. Just look there, water.
Now, guys, we are far enough down this river right now where you might want to start paying a little more attention to the water. If we happen to see a manatee today, it's going to be down the river at least this far. And I'm hoping it isn't too far before we hit our turnaround spot. So just kind of spend a little more time. And if you're lucky, we'll have to see one. Now, we might not, but we'll see. Now these big trees you see coming up here on the left, those are all cypress trees. Cypress wood, those trees are so big, I'll bet you those are several hundred years old. Now cypress wood was a very hard, dense wood. It's basically impervious to water, and insects, and things like that. It was a very sought after wood way back in the 1920s. It was so sought after that they actually sent steamboats up and down this river to harvest that wood. But unfortunately, like humans have a tendency to do, they overdid it. And today, cypress wood is actually on the endangered list. And so now that's being protected. Animals can't do it, they're endangered.
Is that a gator? Is that a gator over there?
Yeah.
There's a big gator over here on the left. Right over here.
Bye.
Nice big old gator sitting right there on that log.
Oh, with his mouth open. With his mouth open. Ugh.
He's got his mouth open.
Yeah.
Well, he's
He's,
just chilling in the sun, isn't he? You know, almost all the animals that you're going to see today are somewhat seasonal or weather related. Give you a good example. Manatees are seasonal, definitely. Wintertime is when you want to come out and see the manatee.
that means
And-
we need to come winter time.
Alligators, that's going to kind of depend on the weather. They love these days where it's nice and sunny and they can sit out on areas like that one back there, catch some sun, stay nice and warm. If you come out here on a cold, misty, rainy day, you're not going to see very many alligators. They're happier in the water. They're real warmer in the water. Now, there's only one exception to all those animals out there that have a tendency to have good days and bad days, and that's monkeys. Monkeys, there is no reason behind those. In other words, they don't have bad days and good days. If you're going to see a monkey, people ask me all the time, when's the best time to come out here and see a monkey? What's the best time of day? What's the best time of year? There is no. Monkeys is sheer luck of the draw. Or we happen to be at the right place at the right time. That's it. Yeah, because I see monkeys all year long. Doesn't matter what the weather is, but we got to be at the right place where they happen to be. So that's the only one. Everybody else it's kind of dependent on weather and whatever. Now, guys, we haven't seen any manatees yet because they were right in. I saw some earlier today, right in this area. So I'll tell you what. We're a couple minutes early. This is usually where we're gonna turn around and go up the river, back up the river. However, let's keep going for a few more yards, if that's okay with you guys, just in case we might happen to see a manny. I'm gonna speed it up and just see if maybe we can spot one. I know they went downriver, but it's a matter now of how far. We still might not see one, but let's see if they're closer than I think. Never know.
Oh, ducks. That's cute. It's not a duck? It's cute.
The last time we were here, we saw the song. That we were at the place on the box.
It feels so good here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there goes, I don't know if it does.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going about as far as I can go here. Still not seeing one though.
No.
They might have headed back down the river. Well, let's spin it around and start heading back up. Now, here's the one thing we haven't seen, and that's monkeys for sure. Now, here's the deal on the monkeys. When we spot monkeys out here, it always happens to be on the way back. I mean, I'd say 9 out of 10 times it's on the way back. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is don't give up. Keep looking for monkeys all the way back up the river. If you look over here on the left, got a bunch of turtles over there on that log. We see that many turtles on the log. You know what we call that? There's a special name for that. You know what that's called? That's called a shell station, guys.
That's okay.
I can't get them. Sorry.
That's okay. I'll try. This is a whole string of goofy turkeys over on the south side. All lined up over the south side.
How did we pick it up? Some of these. They go every.
Oh, yeah. We probably had a home base.
Oh, they did. They come back.
Too fun to be on scene. They might be up there somewhere. Yeah, and that was it. A raccoon.
kids in the home. Big baby. Right out in
On the right or left?
front. Like,
All right, now I'm going to turn here and go a little closer to the edges of the river. The reason I want to do this is I want you to be looking into this grassy stuff, and what you want to be looking for are baby alligators. Now, the baby alligators have a marking on them that the adults don't have. They have bright yellow or orange stripes
It's
all
there.
the way down their tail.
There to the
That's
right.
something they lose when they get a little
On the
older.
grass.
But watch for this
He's
as
there.
we go along the way
In
here.
on the
what you can
grass.
see. One of them there?
On the log.
There he is. He's a little.
He's little,
Yeah, well, that's
baby.
not a baby, but that's a little one, that's for sure.
And
See the
the
stripes on his
turtles.
tail? That's what I'm talking about. Now, he won't keep those his life. He only keeps those for about the first 3 or 4 years. That's a little one, but not a baby. Keep looking. Let's see if we can see some of the little ones. I like to do this because running down the middle of the river. What's that? I'm coming that way. We're just looking at the babies right now. This little bird right here with the orange beak, that's called a moorhen. Cute little bird. They spend their entire life right around the water, yet they do not have webbed feet. They just have little regular bird feet. Maybe on my starboard.
I think that's all land.
Where?
Boat saw on.
Yes, ma'am.
Like fish in the water.
Would you repeat that again? I couldn't
What
hear.
are the big blue fish like in the water?
Tilapia.
The what?
Blue or gray fish?
Oh, well, I didn't talk about those yet? Have I talked about any fish yet?
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
Tilapia.
all
I
right.
could have missed it.
The big blue ones that you're seeing are called tilapia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that is the one fish that's out here that doesn't belong here.
That's
They,
what
they
we
actually are invasive. They don't belong here at all.
You said tilapia, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen one.
There's a lot of them. They're big and they're
I eat
bluish.
them, but I
Yeah.
never seen
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, look at this little gator in here. I think we got a gator in here. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, yeah, that's that one that was on the log. He's still sitting up there.
That one is big. Wait. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's big.
Whoa, that's a big one.
That's huge.
Be careful now, girl.
He's just sitting there catching some sun. Boy, that boy's fat.
Yes, he is.
He looks like he had dinner.
He's been feeding it too much.
Yeah, boy, I'll say. That's a nice sized gator.
What's your guess of the week between its eyes?
Yeah, what do you think, guys?
15.
I don't think it's near that. I personally think that's about more like nine or 10. Now, the biggest gator I've ever seen out here, by far, was 20 feet. Now imagine that. Twice as big as him.
No, thank you.
There's only 3 words you say when you see a gator that big, and that's, oh my God. It is huge and it is scary.
Look at his food. You think they were going over there by the gate. I want to see it.
So keep looking for monkeys on the way back, guys. You just never know. Like I said, most of the time when we see them, it's on the way back for some odd reason. I can't figure it out. Now, guys, on the way back here, if you want to try to get a little more comfortable and just sit back and relax, you're welcome to do that. Also, if you want to just stand up and stretch a little bit, that is also fine. No problem with that. Now, what some people like to do on the way back, when they don't want to do either one of those things, some people like to stand up, turn around, and then sit on this railing that goes around the glass. That way you can sit down and be looking outside the boat as opposed to in here looking at each other. You're welcome to do that if you like. There's only one caution I'm going to give you on that one is don't lean back. That's not good. You know. But other than that, guys, get comfy and sit back and relax and enjoy the ride home. We're just going to kind of take it nice and easy here. And now the only thing I am going to ask you, if anybody has a question on the way back, do me a big favor, raise your hand for a second because this motor is too loud for me to hear the question. So I got to shut it off long enough to hear it. So that's the only thing I ask. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, guys.
Oh, okay. Those are some big covers, too.
There's a gator right there.
Got a little gator right in the middle of all that.
You chilling in that cool grass.
It's cooled off, yes.
Oh, look, another gator swimming here.
Here's a gator swimming.
This one
yeah.
is swimming. Ooh.
One in the water. Gator
There's one in the water, right here on the right. How many feet?
No.
I'm thinking 7. That tail goes out there ways though.
Big bird up here in the tree, right?
Yeah. He's sunning.
Yeah. It looks like an alligator on the right.
Oh yeah. They love to sit there.
Right. Gators to the right. Gators to the right.
Over here on the left, again, from about this point on, is where I saw the wild boars. They're in there. It's just, the problem is in the summertime, the vegetation is so thick in there that they could be just a couple yards in there. You couldn't see them because they're just it's too thick. But in the wintertime, they're a little easier to see. But they're around. I'll promise you that. They're. I saw some just the other day.
What did he see the other day?
Wild boar,
What is it?
wild hogs.
Oh, hogs. Oh, wow.
Wild hogs.
Okay.
Yeah, they're always.
It was one of my front yards.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It wasn't the kind of water.
Oh boy, does it? Ooh. In fact,
It's a little baby one.
I'm going to tell you, I got a spot I want to show you. I'll tell you, it's coming up here about another 10, 15 minutes. And I'll show you how high this river can get. It's scary. I'll get into that here in a little bit.
There's a bunch of turtles.
He was still flopping like that. How long is it taking to dry?
Probably been in the water.
We went back in the water, yeah, got caught.
Fishing.
She know how to do that. Just sit there and...
Going after the little fishes. He wouldn't get one of those big tilapia.
Now, folks, if you look over here coming up on the left, you'll see this little station with all this equipment on it. What that's doing is measuring how much water is going down this river at any given time. Now, they're interested in those figures because it's all coming from springs. So the geologists they want to know that. And they mainly because it varies quite a bit as we go from dry season to wet season. This river on a normal year will change in elevation about 3.5 feet.
Wow.
Dry season, wet season. Now right now we are in the middle of wet season, so the river's fairly high right now. I'd say we got about another foot higher we're going to go before wet season's over with. But then as we turn the river, or turn the corner toward winter, that's our dry season. The rains will stop, and that's when the river will slowly start to recede. And it'll go down almost 3.5 feet before it's all over. And then in the springtime, we start the whole process all over again. That's a normal year. Now, you asked me the question, does this river ever flood? When we get up here a little further, I'm going to show you what happened after a hurricane. This can get interesting.
From Naples to here.
What's that?
Guys, if you look over here on the left, you'll see this little trail that goes back into the woods here. We call that the paddle trail. It's a popular trail for kayaks and paddle boarders. That trail goes deep into the woods there, and then it follows the river all the way back up to where you guys got on board. It's a great trail if you're into kayaking, because it gets you back in the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of wildlife back in there. Chances of seeing a monkey are actually better over there, and it's really popular. So if you ever come out here and rent a kayak, don't miss that opportunity. That's a very cool trail. It's called the Fort King Paddle Trail. Now, if you look over here coming up on the right, this little island we're about to pass, we are back to Monkey Island. Now, here's an interesting fact about Monkey Island. Oh, there's a bird that just caught a fish. You see him?
he got a fish.
Yeah, that's a big fish, too. You want to go back and watch him eat it? This is fun. Watch. Let's see if I hope he doesn't eat it before we get there. Oh, watch. Yeah. Oh, that baby's gone. That's his history. You get it? This is a cormorant, by the way. Yeah. You can tell by his beak. He's still got the fish, but now that's a fairly decent sized fish, but he will get that down his throat. You watch.
That's what she says. Well, that's what he said. I'm always getting very clear on that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You still working on it?
Still working on it.
Come on, little guy, you can do this. I've seen it bigger than that.
Shake it a little bit more.
The catch is he needs to get that fish down his throat head first.
Yeah, it's got this.
So he's going to try to pop it up in the air and get it that way.
He's trying.
And he's working on it. He's
Almost.
working on it.
You can do it.
Now, sometimes when the fish won't cooperate, what they'll do is they'll
Oh, there you go.
You get it?
That's a big fish.
Oh, yeah, that baby's history.
Come on.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, good boy. Good job.
Did you get one?
That's pretty cool. Now, when an anhinga does that, remember I told you they have that sharp bill and they spear the fish? Well, that bill's ever so slightly barbed. So sometimes they have trouble getting the fish off the bill. When that happens, what they do then is they go over to the side of the river and they start banging the fish against a log or something hard, and then it finally comes off of its peak. Yeah, we're just watching a cormorant.
That was interesting, though. I couldn't get it either, but that was interesting.
Yeah, he down a huge one. It's awesome. Now, this little island we're about to pass here, this is Monkey Island. We're back to Monkey Island. This is the only place down this entire river where I've never seen a monkey. Not one time. Now, you remember a few minutes ago I said that the normal fluctuation of this river is about 3.5 feet. That's a normal year. But about a year ago, almost a year ago exactly right now, we had a huge hurricane come through this area. It was called Hurricane Milton. That was late 2024. I think it was this month. Well, that wasn't a normal year. And when Hurricane Milton came through, that's called a mullet. Yeah. when Hurricane Milton came through, it rained so hard down here, man. That hurricane dumped a ton of water out. Now let me give you just a little idea of how much water we got. If you look over here on the right, we're about to pass this little orange arrow. Look over here, coming out behind me now. That arrow, after the passing of Hurricane Milton, that entire arrow was underwater. Think about that. I mean, there was water deep into the trees here. Where you guys were standing to get on board, you'd have been standing in waist deep of water. The docks were completely underwater. They were gone. And it was about, maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the river finally receded enough for us to resume what we do. But that's an abnormal year, obviously. But it can get pretty crazy out here when we get rain like that. But thank God that's rare. Yeah. Is that a gator over there, or that's a bunch of turtles? I can't tell.
Turtle and a gator. But it's a turtle, I mean a gator there.
Yes.
Where the orange thing is.
I offered, nobody will take it. I had to buy them ice cream. They didn't spend any money. Talk about it when I'm gone.
You can buy that.
Huh?
You can buy that.
That's fine with me.
Now, guys, if you look behind the boat, everywhere we've been down there, that is total pure forest. In other words, nothing is developed over there. Nothing. There's no housing. There's nothing. But that's about to end. Right about where we are now, forward, all this has been developed, and there was a lot of stuff here way back when. This basically was one big, gigantic amusement park long before the state owned this ground. But what's left today is mostly trails that you can walk on. And some of those trails are pretty extensive all the way through these woods, and they're kind of fun to take a walk on. Now, when you get off this boat, you've got a couple options available to you if you feel like taking a walk. And none of them are a great distance. They're usually about 10, 15-minute walk. If you go to the right, once you get off this boat, there's about 2 or 3 sets of trails over here. First one's real close to the river's edge, and then the next one's a little deeper out, and then the next one's even further out, and that one's more out in the open for bicycles and things like that. The trails will end up right over here by the Sea Hunt dock. This is about as far as they go. And like I said, it takes about 10 minutes to get to that dock. Now, that's a cool walk. There's some great places to see there. There's lots of flowers and things like that all along the way. It's a pretty walk, no doubt about it. And some of it gets really close to the edge of the river. I'll show you here in a minute. But that's not my favorite walk. My favorite walk is over here on the left. Now, how you get over there is after you get off the boat, you want to start heading back toward the main gate, but don't leave the park. Don't go through the gate. Just before you get to that gate, wander off to the left, and the first thing you're going to see is a little bridge, that goes over kind of a little trail. After you get to the other side of that bridge, it's very short. then the ground turns into a boardwalk trail. It's a boardwalk that's been built up off the ground all the way through the trees. And it goes all the way back into here, loops around, and then finally takes you right back out where you started from. The reason I like that is because it's way more isolated back in there. The chances of you seeing wildlife back there are much better. Even the chances of seeing monkeys are better over there. And if you're into photography and you like to take pictures of wildlife and things like that, that's where you want to do it. That is the coolest trail out here, in my opinion. Not saying that the one on the right's bad. That's a popular trail, but I like the one on the left. So that's if you decide you want to do that. And if you don't want to walk at all, you can always go up to the cafe and order something to eat, or they sell liquor and beer, so you can do that too. One of my favorite pastimes.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can see this trail. You can see right over here on the right. That's how close it gets to the river's edge. That's part of the trail right here. There's some people walking down it right there. Now, folks, if you remember when we started this little adventure, I told you I wanted to show you the main spring when we got back to the beginning. Well, we are just around the corner from doing just that. Now, this last spring I want to show you, this is the big daddy of them all. This is by far the largest spring you're going to see out here today. This is also the head spring of the river. And right up here around the corner is where the Silver River actually starts. Now we call this particular spring Mammoth Spring. And it gets its name for two reasons actually. One is because of its size. Like I said, it's the largest spring out here. So they call it Mammoth Springs. But the other reason they call it that is because they actually found woolly mammoth bones at the bottom of this thing many years ago. Now this spring is massive. It is 65 feet across. It sits in about 55 feet of water, which is the deepest part of the entire river. And this spring produces all by itself around 550 million gallons of water every day. And that figure makes this spring one of the largest artesian limestone springs in the world.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm going to take you in here in just a second. This happens to be my favorite spring. But it's not because of the size of the spring or the volume of water. This is my favorite because, in my opinion, this is the prettiest spring you're going to see today. Now, I'm going to kind of poke along here. I think I got a boat in our way, but I think they're about to get out of our way. Now, what I want to do now is I want to show you this spring, and then right after that, I have a movie artifact I want to show you. But everything from now on is going to be under the glass. So what I'd like everybody to do now, if you're not already, turn around, have a seat, focus on the glass, because the rest of the show, guys, is going to be down below us. All right. Now, here we go. Whoop. Got some grass in my prop. Hang on a second, guys. Okay. So the first thing you're going to see when we get up here is we're going to start going over kind of a big rock here, and that should happen any second now. Should start seeing it right about now. Now watch what happens when we get to the other end of this rock. The bottom's going to drop down to 55 feet in a big hurry. And this is Mammoth Springs, guys.
That's amazing.
Now, if you happen to be sitting on the left, I want you guys to be looking way down at the bottom toward the right. What you're going to see is a big cavern down there. That's where the water is actually coming from, underneath that ledge. Now, if you happen to be sitting over here on the right, man, you should have sat on the left. You cannot see that at all.
Now you're telling
But
us.
I'm messing with you. I'm going to turn around here in a second. Let's spin it around here.
That is amazing.
I saw the cliff thing. Somebody else got the cliff.
Now, if you're sitting on the right, take a look way down at the bottom toward the left. 550 million gallons a day coming right out of here.
Big fish.
This one spring is basically responsible for 2/3 of this entire river. 2/3 of the whole baby is coming from here.
That's
Now
amazing.
let me give you a better example. If you had an Olympic-sized swimming pool and you wanted to fill that pool, this spring could do that for you in roughly 45 seconds.
Those are some big ones.
That's a lot of water. Pretty though, isn't
A
it?
lot of fish.
You're looking at 55 feet there, guys.
Stuff that's moving around.
Okay,
Is that
I got one more thing I want to show you before we're done here today.
Yeah, my
Now,
favorite.
back in the mid-60s, there was a television show called I Spy on TV. Some of you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't remember that, or if you're too young to remember that, that was a series back in the 60s. And what they did is they filmed one episode of that series right here at Silver Spring. Now, the script for this particular episode called for some statues to be built underwater for the filming of that episode. So what they did is they built these statues, then they placed them in 30 feet of water. The statues themselves, they are about 7 to 8 feet tall, and they were named after 3 Greek gods,
That's what I said. See,
Zeus,
cell phone.
Poseidon, and Hades.
Still working.
Now when they built these statues, guys, they didn't build these things out of concrete or marble or stuff that you would build a statue out of. What they actually built these things out of was fiberglass. Fiberglass.
You're about
Now
to
why would they do that? Why would they choose fiberglass? Anybody want to take a shot at that one?
Why is it?
That's a good answer. It's probably my number one answer. But it's way simpler than that.
cheaper.
Not quite that simple. But they did it simply for the weight. You got to remember, these are movie props. And the weight was important to them, especially to the poor guy that had to put them down there. So concrete was too heavy, marble's too heavy, but fiberglass, yeah, we can do that. If you look underneath the boat, come up here, guys, in just a couple of seconds, you're going to see our 3 resident movie stars. This is Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Boat dock, we need a boat to move.
It's coming up now.
Oh, here it is. Be honest with me.
I got 2.
I'm not going to, that's too
I
bad.
got 9.
He needs to back up a little bit.
My phone overheated now.
Oh,
I got 2 of them. I think I got all 3.
I'm going to turn here again here just a little bit. Now, while I'm redoing this here, these same statues were also used in 2 James Bond movies.
Jeff.
2 of them. Those 2 movies were called Moonraker and Never Say Never Again. Both of those Bond films have scenes in them with these very same statues. It was all filmed right here where you're looking. So here's the deal. If they film these things with fiberglass, because it would be easy for them to put down there, also easy for them to pick up, well then the question would remain is, well, why are they still here then? Why didn't they pick them up? Well, they tried. They wanted to.
See,
But when they did,
it's just
the local people here in Ocala had a fit. They said, guys, those are way too cool. Leave them down there. Let people enjoy them for years to come. And they said, you guys don't need them anymore. They're just going to put them on some back lot somewhere, so why don't you leave them? And I'll be darned if they didn't talk them into doing just that. Those little statues have been down there now since 1967. Now, last question. Did everybody get a chance to see them at one point or another there? In other words, there's nobody sitting here going, where are the statues? All good? Okay, good. Well, folks, being that said, that is going to wrap up our tour for this afternoon. Guys, I want to take just a second before we dock the boat to thank you all. I appreciate the fact that you guys are here. I hope you had a little bit of fun going down the river. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any manatees today, but unfortunately, that's out of my hands. So, anyway, thank you all so much. Appreciate the fact that you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Much